Greetings duelists and welcome to another video. So today I want to talk about what will most likely be the deck I will transition from Ritual Beast on to the next format. And that deck is Centurion. So if you've been on this channel, you already know that I'm a fan of Centurion. I've played Centurion for a while now, but I have like dialed down from playing Centurion for a little bit. However, I think Centurions are in a really good spot right now. Like, this is Emra's list from Worlds. You guys already know the Team Snipe Hunters made it to the finals of Worlds format. Granted, they do have Max E, but, you know, that's going to be almost the same thing for us when we get 4 of us. Santoli won a regional 2 weeks ago, and that was on their old format, and he did not play Calamities in his extra deck. But he did play the Bystial package. And if you've seen my past Centurion videos, you already know that I'm a really big fan of this engine. I think this engine is really, really strong. And is warranted in like almost every Centurion build. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a replay. Usually when it comes to testing replays with friends, I usually don't like to share those duels because we're pretty much just funning around. We don't know half of the stuff that we're doing. We just like want to showcase, like want to try out certain decks and see if something strategies work. However, I kind of want to show this replay because it kind of will show you stuff that will probably be relevant for Rage of the Abyss format. So I will just play the game, like play the replay. As you can see, we are playing Centurion Hybrid. Well, you don't see Centurion cards here, but you will soon. And we see that they are on Snake Eye. We open 4 Auras, they Ash Blossom. We're going to activate the second 4 Auras. And I don't blame him for Ash Blossoming this. Like, 4 Auras is just a really, really powerful card. And you will see throughout this duel why that is the case. So the purpose behind this duel is just to show you just how powerful 4 Auras is and what might happen if you just don't respect the card. You can see the first Centurion that being drawn, which is Trudea. You'll see the Baldrake. And now you're like looking at the other engine that I'm playing with the deck. But yeah, this game is just to show you what happens like if you don't respect 4 Auras, because we are playing a fair amount of non-engine. Main engine being the Bystials, and like the Bystials are no joke. Like the Bystials are like just going to like take a lot of advantage. Okay, so this game, he opted not to activate IP. He probably is scared of talents, and I don't blame him for that. The one thing, and this one ruling that he was trying to look up, I targeted the Angel statue with the Chaos Angel. This was a misplay on his behalf. He should have just shotgunned the Angel statue immediately when he saw that like the Visa Samsara hit the board. Because he should know by now that an extra deck summon is coming. He did not do that. I targeted the statue with the Chaos Angel, and the ruling behind this is, since this is still treated as a trap card, the game recognizes where its trigger location was, even after moving from where it was being targeted. So that with that, like we end up banishing it. Don't ask why he banished it face down. We're just testing. Don't ask why he summoned access code. Again, we're just testing. This is just showing you like a few things to take note of when it comes to this deck. So we activate Branded Regain, we activate Lubellion. Lubellion's going to add Saronir, and yeah, we're just going to tribute for Lubellion. He activates the Promethean Princess. We're going to activate the Branded Regain. We're just going to reborn back the Manamut. And yep, we're just reborning. We're summoning. This was a misplay. This is supposed to summon under a Scareclaw. So this has to be link summoned before this summon, but the sequence won't matter. You will notice why. Again, we're testing. So yeah, like you're just gonna notice. And this is like one of the better cards to play in this deck. I will talk about this when we get to like the profile. Um, so again, yeah, this is me just sequencing cards, and this is the end of the first game. Yeah. Okay, so second game. So the purpose behind this particular duel is showing you what can be done under Fuaros. So we pretty much just did a test game where he opened the Fuaros. And I'll let him keep his 5-card hand. Well, I think I told him to put back something, but so I'll let him play this out with the Fuaros. Again, we're just testing. But yeah, you're going to notice that we don't give them enough summons with Fuaros. They Ash Blossom. We activate talents. We look at his hand. He drew a talents, which we put back. He's supposed to not have that talents, but you know, I digress. So we're going to special summon Reinhardt. Reinhardt is going to add us a rival. Our rival is going to activate. We're going to summon the Visa Samsara, and this is what I like about this engine. Like the Visa's engine can bridge you into Centurions now because of Primera Primus. And this is going to be the second summon under Fuaros. We're going to give him one more draw. The Primus is going to resolve because we already saw his hand. We already saw that they didn't have like any hand traps. Like if this Snake Eye Oak would have been just like the draw to stop the Primus, well, so be it. But I pretty much just banked on it. So we add and blow our Oath. We activate the Oath. Oath is going to activate Standoff Centurion. Standoff Centurion is going to dump the Fuaros. We're going to place Trudea. We're going to activate Trudea. Trudea is going to spawn back the Primera. And you notice it though that all of these summons don't give them draws by Fuaros. We're going to add Centurion Phalanx. We're going to set Phalanx and pass. So not the strongest end board, but again, we only gave them 2 draws from Fuaros. And that is going to be very, very important next format if you're going to play a combo deck. You need to make sure that your combo deck does not give like enough draws to your opponent, because if you do, you just will get punished for it. And Centurion is really, really good at doing that. They activate Deception. They're going to activate Sacred Asamina. They're going to summon the Ray Silvera. We'll let that go through. They're going to summon Oak. Oak is going to summon Poplar. The Poplar is going to add the Divine Temple. And this is where we start picking apart our opponent's board. You notice how I added the Centurion Phalanx? We already saw his hand, so we already knew that he had Deception. So eventually, the Rhea Silvera was going to hit the board. And that's going to be our target for the Centurion Phalanx. If our opponent is smart, they will let this go through. They just let the Rhea Silvera get banished and they just keep playing. But they actually tribute to negate. And you will see that will punish them, because I do have the Druid's Worm. And the Druid's Worm is going to banish this. And this goes back to like what Santoli did. Like, Bystials are really, really good with Centurions. Like, not only are they hand traps, but they are also disruption. They are also like synchro extenders. And we're just going to use the Standoff Centurion. And this is going to make Chaos Angel. The Chaos Angel is going to banish the Poplar. And we're going to just send with Druid's Worm the Oak. Well, actually, it should be backwards, but so the Oak is getting banished and the Poplar gets sent. But yeah, this is the end of the duel. Our opponent scoops because even though he still has more cards in his hand, he has no way to get rid of this Chaos Angel. And that's a really big deal because we saw his hand, we saw the talents, and we just put it back. So whenever you see your opponent doesn't have like board breakers, you just go for the Chaos Angel play because your opponent won't out this. They won't have the out for the Chaos Angel, they won't have the out for the Primera Primus, and yes, they can pick apart other cards in your board, but eventually you'll gather enough resources to just outplay your opponent. Another note is you are playing the Visas package, so you have access to like Vicious Astrolaud, which is another really strong card to just summon. Like you have access to SP Little Knight with the Lightheart. Like just a couple things to note. So I don't have the list fully built, but I do want to show the list regardless. Like not show the entire list, but show like things you can go for when it comes to like building this deck. This is a test of the hybrid that I was showing on stream, like on the screen a little bit ago, and I will explain everything. But yeah, so let's start with the Centurion package. So if you're playing pure Centurion, which is perfectly fine, I do highly suggest you play it at least with the Bystial cards, because the Bystials just have incredible synergy, just as you just saw with the past two duels. But since this is a hybrid, we are playing like two Primaras, one Trudea, one Gargoyle, and I am playing the Atri. So until Rage of the Abyss, you should not play Atri. But post Rage of the Abyss, Atri just becomes a lot better, because Atri is a card that gives you draws if you activated an Emblema card. And with Primera Primus, you will get access to that Emblema card, which means you will net a free draw out of this card each and every turn. If you don't get full Rust, you can just put back the Atri back in your spell and trap. The Atri is just going to draw you again next turn, and you just draw into your non-engine a lot smoother and quicker. So that's the first Centurion monsters. For the spells, we're playing the 3 stand-up, the 3 oath, the 1 like the 1 bonds, and the 1 phalanx. Since we get access to searchable emblema now, you don't really have to play 3. However, there is no reason not to play 3. This is just another extender and a starter for Centurions. And the other really good thing about this card is if you get interrupted by hand traps or interrupted like going second, these are just extenders that are just going to push through your opponent's board and just make sure your Centurion cards stick. This is one really good thing about Centurion as an archetype. Like it is one of the most consistent combo decks that also has 7 extenders. So that's it for the Centurion cards. No matter what hybrid of Centurion you're playing, I think this card is mandatory now. It is another interruption. It's a non-monster interruption for your opponent. With Appaloosa gone from the game, a lot of people are finding more enticing matters for playing like board breakers, and this is what makes searchable trap cards like this like just very possible. So let's go to the Bystial package. We have Magna, we have like all the other names. I opted for playing multiple copies of Druid's Worm. Like Santoli's list plays 3. You should be playing more than 1 at least. And here are the 3 Lubellions. I'm going to play the 2 branded cards. The branded beast is the same example, the same explanation for like Phalanx. It's just a searchable interruption that is not a monster interruption. So you don't have to worry about specific board breakers. And if you're thinking about specifically what to do against like stuff like Lightning Storm, that's where the Centurion Auxilla comes in. Like Centurion Auxilla just will protect your spell and traps, so you will have like interruptions that won't get sniped by your opponent's cards as long as you have the Auxilla. So yeah, that's very fascinating on that end. But yeah, this is the bestial lineup. I highly suggest you play all of them, including Lubellion. You could play without Lubellion and just play the normal bestials like people are doing like in other combo decks. However, I think the package with Lubellion is just incredibly resourceful in this deck. Like, you just get so much card advantage. Lubellion being level 8 means that you can go into your like Centurion lines, like with your other Centurion monsters. Like, yeah, really strong. Now let's talk about the Visas package. Why am I playing Visas in this deck? Why did I choose to play Visas as my engine? The number one reason is synergy, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Visas Samsara is a level 4 tuner, which means it could bridge you into the Centurion cards themselves, but Visas Samsara himself can get you to the entire Centurion line thanks to Primera Primus. So like basically you just do the old school combo of linking this into like the Lightheart. Lightheart adds you the field spell. Like the field spell gets you to like Reichheart. Reichheart gets you to Arrival. Arrival brings this back, and that's already a Centurion line. And as you already saw from the replay, you are only giving your opponent 2 draws from Fuaras with this engine. Another reason why I play this engine, and the reason I think this engine is really good, is because this engine is really resourceful. It gives you follow-up plays, it gives you plays through your opponent's interruptions, it gives you like non-monster ways to get rid of cards. But yeah, this is not mandatory by any means. You really don't have to play this package. But I feel like if you're not going to play something like this, or Fiendsmith, or like other engines to just bolster the ceiling of your deck, then another option is to play much more non-engine. You will see later with this pile of cards that I have in this part, you will have enough room for non-engine even with the Visas package. So, 2 Samsaras, this is going to be 3, I just don't have 3 at the moment. The 1 Starfrost, 3 Reichheart, this is also interchangeable, you don't have to play 3 Reichheart, but I just opted to play Reichheart. I also played the Rhoda. The number one reason why I really like Reichheart is because this is a 1-card Chaos Angel with your follow-up. It used to be a 1-card Baron de Fleur, but Baron de Fleur is in the forbidden list. But yeah, this gives you like 3 potential pushes through your opponent's board with just this card alone. And if this card fully resolves, you just like bridge into other engines. Again, if you open Samsara, you bridge into Centurions. If you open Reichheart, you bridge into your level 10s and your Visas Astronaut. So that's why I'm playing this engine. I played 2 copies of Arrival and 2 copies of Planet. If you being on my channel and you saw my old Scareclaw deck, I used to play like 3 of these. Lightheart adding this card is not once per turn. So if you go through your entire Visas line, your combo should end on another copy of Planet in your hand for next turn. And like if you rotate through everything, your Planet is going to give you the Reichheart, which is going to give you the entire Synchro 10 line that I mentioned, like on following turns. Another really cool thing is, since Visas is a level 6 tuner, you can pair up Visas with any Bestial, and those 2 can also bridge you into Centurions. So that's another important note. So yeah. So this is for the Visas package. Like, I highly recommend it. You can opt for playing the Scareclaw Twin Saw, which is another interruption in the form of a trap card. But the reason I'm not doing that is because I don't want to break with too much non-engine, like too much non-engine disruption. And that card is specifically better when you go first and not when you go second. But yeah, those are like all the main engines. If you count the entire main deck with all of these cards, you have around 8 to 10 spots for non-engine. This is completely optional. You don't have to play terraforming, but if you are going to play a more purish Centurion deck, you should play terraforming. And you have a lot of room for non-engine. These are the ones I recommend the most. And you're probably thinking, where's the Ash Blossom? Where is the Ghost Mourner? Where are like the Pyrolias? Well, the reason I'm choosing these hand traps and suggesting them is because these are light and dark monsters, meaning that if you draw these alongside your bystials, and your opponent is not playing a light or dark deck, then your bystials are not dead. Your bystials actually get value from just banishing whatever you used as fodder. Also, these cards are really good right now. I think DD Crow should be a card you should consider if you're not playing bystials. Ghost Ogre is like really strong as well. Once the Asamina engine comes out, this card it will be good against the Asamina cards, specifically the Deception spell. So if this deck ever gets more popular, this card is really good against the Centurion Mirror Match. This card is not that good against Fiendsmith hybrids at the moment, but another example where this card is very ideal would be like, for example, the Jubel deck when they activate Nightmare Pain and they're trying to resolve like that effect, or they do the secondary effect of opening of the Spirit Gates. Like, this is just a really strong card to consider right now. And I don't have to talk about Nibiru. Like, Nibiru is the most popular hand trap right now, arguably. So again, these are other non-engines that you can play. You saw it from my replay that I was playing like Talents, but all of these are really good. So yeah, the deck is kind of flexible when it comes to like main deck spots. I'm not gonna show an entire extra deck. I am missing a few cards. I am waiting for the Megatins. The other thing is like the extra deck is not set in stone. However, if you do want to see more of this deck, if you want to see more post of Rage of the Abyss content with this strategy, if you want to prepare for the future format, give this I won't even ask for likes in this video. I will just ask for more viewers. So if you have friends that like are interested in stuff like this, feel free to like let them be sent my way. If you want to follow the channel, I'm close to 400 subscribers, so yeah, enough chilling for now. I'll keep going with the profile. So if you're playing the Visas engine, you should play at least one or two, play 2 copies of Lightheart, the Astrolaud as well. And so those 2 cards are very ideal. If you're playing the Bystials, you should play this pattern. Like, that's a no-brainer. Let's talk about the more obscure stuff that you're probably missing out when you're playing Centurion. Santoli did this on his profile, and I also did this on my past Centurion profiles. He played Chaos Archfiend. This card is really good. Like, this card, like, if you saw my replay, you saw that I OTK'd the Snake Eye opponent because I summoned this card. Like, just going through all your opponent's monsters and just hit it be pumped up to 4,500 is just ridiculously strong. Since we are playing heavy Bystials, this is also an ideal card to play. Centurion Atri is a dragon type monster, surprisingly enough. So one thing you can do is, let's say you have stand up but you don't have access to any Centurions, you can Heretic Spheres to summon Atri, and Atri becomes your Centurion catalyst for your synchro summons. The same thing can be done with Gargoyle. Um, but like the same thing can be done with Centurion Gargoyle. The thing that makes Atri really cool is that it is a level 4 tuner. We're lacking tuners in this deck besides Primera, so like just having access to this is just really good. And the last card I suggest is Tengyusu. This could be other rank 8s. Another rank 8 that I thought about was Buzz King, like the number one, just to snipe the matchups that you're facing. But I like Tengyusu a lot more utility wise. It's like one of those cards that just help push through boards. It can help protect your board as well. Like, yeah, it's just a really good card to be playing in this deck. But yeah, this has been like an update on Centurion. It's been a while since I profiled or talked about Centurions in this channel. I think Centurions are really strong right now. And I think Centurions do have a promising future, like post Rage of the Abyss, if you know what you're doing. But yeah, this has been the video. Hope you found this informative to your liking and understanding. More videos coming soon. Keep practicing and keep dueling.